Hi, ladies. Welcome to our Enjoy Your Children podcast, the Encouraging Women podcast. But today, our topic is about custody and shared custody. And this is a special podcast with a special guest, Kristine, that's here with us. We've got Adina with us today. We don't have Erin with us, but we've got Kristine here. Thank you for being here with us, Kristine. Kristine, so our listeners don't really know you because they haven't heard from you yet. Please let us know who's Kristine, where are you from, and how many children do you have, and everything that they would be interested to know.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Yvonne and Adina, for inviting me to join this podcast. Uh, yeah, I'm Kristine Daniels. That is the beautiful new name that my heavenly husband gave me. I live in the Netherlands, and I have four children, one girl and three boys, in the age of 23 and 10. The girl is my first born, and then three boys, and 16 and 10, twice 10 because they are twins.
Mm.
And with my beloved, I'm raising them in shared custody. It's exactly how you say it, with my former husband because I'm divorced and I have a co-parenting 50-50. So, with my former husband, we are raising these boys and the girl, but not the girl anymore because she's 23. But but sometimes I still have to teach her things.
Yeah. And in today's day and age, right, four children is a lot of children to have, right? Because everyone has like when even if you have three, people are like, whoa, three children. Because I remember when I was younger, when we were in school, they would always ask you, you are one of how many children because they want to know your siblings. And then all my friends would be, we're one of two, we're one of, and then one of three, you would see the children's eyes. But then when it gets to me, I'm always saying it very quietly, I'm one of five. And because I was usually the one with the most, siblings in my class. So I'm wondering what it's like for your children to
It
be
was
with. Yes.
I know what you mean, but it was not planned. It
Mm,
was planned. I planned my birds with conceive pills because they were born every 6 years. That
mm,
was my intention. Um, so that's why the first one is 23 and the second one is 16. She becomes 23. She's now 22. uh, 6 years apart. And then after 6 years, I decided, without any consolation from my former husband or my heavenly husband at that time, that I want to be pregnant again. But it was not supposed to have twins.
Twins, yes.
So the last one, the last pregnancy, was really a shock for me. I have to
Mm,
confess that it was really a shock. When I went to the doctor, I knew that I was pregnant, but I did not know what's going on in my belly because I had signs of pregnancy, but other than not receiving my period, there was nothing going on. So I had to go to the doctor to see what's going on. And when I went to the hospital and they took an autograph of my belly, as he was looking, the nurse was looking, and she looked at me, and she looked at my former husband, and I was thinking, what's wrong? Am I pregnant or not? Because I feel pregnant, but what's going on? Because she did not say anything. And then she came to me and she said, I see two babies. I say, you see two babies? A and B. I say, what? No, no, no. She said, is this pregnancy planned and is it natural? I say, what
mm,
do you mean? Did you
mm,
conceive it natural? I say, you I didn't understand. So I asked, you mean if we slept together and I got
yeah.
pregnant? Yes, yes. I say, yes. It was in the bedroom. Nothing further happened. She said, okay, because you have twins, you gotta get twins. I say, no, that's not possible. She said, yes, that's possible. I say, no, you see, that's one, and that's the back of the one. She said, no, that's one baby, and that's two babies. And I was complete in shock, and I was trying to tell her to do her job right because I was one baby. I was pregnant of one baby. After a while, she got a little bit mad with me, and she said, "Okay, I'm going to tell you clear. You're going to have twins, and what we are going to do next week, you come back, and then we'll see if the twins will stay." So I left, but I was alone at that time. I was not with my former husband. He was in another country for his work. So I called him and I said, "Can I speak to you?" And I said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I went to the doctor and she said to me, we're going to have twins." He says, "What?" I said, "Yes, we're going to have twins." "No, that's not possible." She said, "We're going to have twins." And after the day that I realized that I was pregnant with twins, I cried
Mm,
because that was not the plan. And I
mm,
already had two children. And that was also at that time already really hard for me because
mm, mm,
6 years apart, you have preschool a child a child, and one at home. And
mm,
with twins, I said, "Oh my, how am I going to do this?" So the first couple of days was really hard to, yeah, be happy with the last pregnancy. But after a while, after 13 weeks, they took another photo and they told me the twins are going to be born because none of them is going to disappear. You have to have to conceive them both. I said, okay, that's it.
yeah,
I don't
that's
know how to do it, but they are welcome. So my last boy, I always called him, "You are not planned, but you are gifted. You are my
yeah,
presents. You are
yeah,
my little present that
yeah.
the Lord gave me
Oh,
after you." So
oh,
yeah.
so that's sweet.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I've always been a little ashamed, in school to say that we're five children. But now that I'm grown, I'm enjoying having a lot of siblings. I'm really enjoying having a big family with, lots of brothers and sisters with all their children. So I believe it will be the same for yours when they grow up. It's just so beautiful to just
Already I'm enjoying the time with them because now they are bigger. They get more mature. We can talk about things. They tell me how they think about things. So last Mother's Day they were all here and we
Mm,
ate together and we spent time together. My mother was also here with my brother
mm,
and it was fun. It was
mm,
really fun.
good.
And that's the moment that I really enjoy having four children
Mm.
because there is always a child at home.
Yes,
If they
yes,
are
yes.
here,
Mm,
some are going to play with a friend, the other is going to play with the cell themselves in the room. But there is always a child in my area.
yeah,
I'm
yes.
never alone, except when they're going to their dads. But if they are here, I am never alone. So
Yeah, that's
I
nice.
enjoy that.
Yeah, that's nice. So for me and Adina, Adina, could you just explain your custody situation a bit? So with Kristine, it's a 50-50 custody. Is that how yours is as well?
Yes, we also 50-50. So what that means is that one week they stay with their dad from Monday to Sunday. And then the next week from Monday to Sunday, they are with me. Although I see them every day for homeschool, but when it's their dad's turn, um, I just have them during the day for the homeschooling and then they go back, sleep there, come back the next day. Yeah, except for the weekend, then I don't see them.
Mm, okay. All right. So that makes sense. For me, it's a bit different. I have shared custody, but I don't think it's like called 50-50. I have no idea what it's called. So the children goes to their dad every second weekend, and then school holidays is split into two. So school holidays
Mm.
we split evenly, but for other times it's every second weekend. So they see him twice a month on weekends. I think I can say that, And then there's an arrangement which he's supposed to see them every Wednesday, but because he lives a bit far away, it's like a 45-minute drive. We've arranged that the weekend that's his, because we're homeschooling. It's we've got the privilege to do that. The weekend that they go to him, he gets them one day earlier. So instead of them leaving on the Friday, they leave on the Thursday to make up for that time that they miss during, the week. So the ideal would be that your children would always have their dad in their lives, but because they cannot, it's a bit different. And Kristine, I'm not sure. I'm sorry that I'm not sure about this, but for me and Adina, we've got stepmoms, so there's stepmothers involved, and most of the times there's another woman. Even if it's not a stepmom, she's like a stepmom for them. So this is something that's difficult to navigate for most people, right? And so that's why we want to talk about it a bit. And in the beginning of everyone's restoration journey, the thing that I guess you pray about the most is that your children never get to meet the other woman, right? That things never progress to the point where
Yeah.
they meet the other woman. But
Yeah.
it happens. And so we need to see how we can navigate this in the way that, our husband or our heavenly husband and heavenly father wants us to guide our children in this, because
Mm.
it's difficult as it is for us. I think it's even more difficult and confusing for the children, and it would depend on their age, right? Like my
Mm.
children were very young. They were 3 and 5 when
Mm.
they met the other woman. And because like my daughter, for her, she was like the only girl on that side now, because she already had a son of her own. So she didn't give my son as much attention, but my daughter, because there were no daughters on that side, my
Mm.
daughter was treated like a little princess. And she was
Mm.
really spoiled, when
Mm.
she was young, going through her dad, really spoiled very much. So it was a really difficult situation for me to deal with that. But I'm going to start with you, Adina. So tell us a little bit about the exposure to the other woman, to when she became the stepmom, and how it was for your children, for you, and what he led you to do.
So for me, when the first time that they were exposed to the other woman was, I was not prepared for it. I didn't know it. They decided on to do it, have like an outing with the children
Mhm.
and then introduce everyone to everyone.
You didn't know.
No, I didn't know. Not at all. So yeah, because she have two of her own children, so they arranged this outing, them all to go out. I found out, I think it was 3 days later, when my daughter mentioned something that, I suppose it was supposed to be kept a secret because it slipped out. And I found out. Um, I must tell you at that point, because I was also, I think, like everyone else, I was kind of praying that the day would never come. And like I said, I couldn't prepare myself for it because I didn't know. But it was quite a important word. My heart just broke, especially the way it kind of maybe that it was done as well, you know. Um, it was a huge shock. And I, I think for me at that stage, if I think back, I wanted to prevent future contact, but I, I, I soon realized that it's not going to happen. There's nothing I can do to really prevent this. Um, And it just continued to happen. And in the beginning, each time I would pray, because I knew every weekend I went. At that stage, we still had the same custody arrangement that you have, Yvonne, where he saw the kids every second weekend. And I knew, if they went there, she would be there with her children. And it was a difficult situation. I really, really, really had to um, sit with my beloved Lord, heavenly husband, beforehand, to deal with this and to let them go without me, making kind of a scene about it. But, I would let them go. And then when they're gone, you just fall apart, You just
Yes.
fall at his feet, because you don't want to let them leave and feel guilty about them going there. You also don't want to put that on the children, I didn't want to. So that was really something I had to just cry at his feet every time they left. And I knew. I think the hardest part was because our divorce went through the October to December. They went on holiday together, and that broke me. Um, that was incredibly heartbreaking for me. But again, I got through that week just with the Lord. There was no other way. If I didn't have him or haven't met him as my beloved Lord or heavenly husband or best friend, I wouldn't have gotten through that week. But he gave me peace. Halfway through that week, he gave me amazing peace, uh, and for me, it got easier. Over time, it got easier because now it's a situation I can do nothing about, it's reality that this is my situation. But um, now it's sometimes still difficult, but he really
Yeah.
helped me. The Lord really helped me to deal with it, especially weekends, for me, myself, to enjoy the weekend alone, with the Lord. And look at it in a way that I see it as a weekend to rest, and to just gain new strength, by spending time with him for the new week to come. So yeah, that's my story in a nutshell.
Yes, thank you for sharing. So we'll come back to weekends again. I also just want to ask you, Kristine, first. So what was it like for you and your children? Because I think your twins were still very young as well. Maybe your other two were a bit older, but your twins were very young, if I remember correctly.
Yes, the twins were 4 years when we got divorced. It's now this year 6 years ago, and they will become 11, so almost 5. So they did not really know what's going on. Um, and I forgot a little bit how it went when my children got involved with another
It's a
lady.
good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but I hear Adina saying it was not supposed to be that I knew about it, but her daughter made a comment, and then you think, huh? What did I hear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was for me exactly the way my youngest child said something, and I was I was driving, and I was hearing his comment, and I looked back, and I thought, what did he say? But I did not ask him any questions because I was. That's why I'm so happy that I got here by RMI and learned the principles to not ask questions,
Mm.
just mention that you are deaf and you did not hear it, because didn't want my children to be in a position that I was questioning them, or that I got some feelings that I expose to them, so that they don't feel like, oh, did I say something wrong? Uh, no. So I didn't ask questions, but it kept in my mind. And a couple days later, because the first lady uh, that he introduced to me, not physically, but he told me about it, uh, was in the time that we had COVID.
Mm.
So he called me, my former husband called me, and he said, I have to tell you something. And I was thinking, oh no, because I thought the divorce went through and I did not hear anything about another lady. Like you brides at that moment went through. My divorce was not because infidelity, it was some other reasons. So in my mind, I was thinking the Lord will restore my marriage before another lady will come in our life.
Yeah.
But he called me, my former husband, and he said, I have to tell you something. And I said, okay. But in the back of my mind, I was telling myself, just react as like you were happy. But
Mm.
inside, I was crying.
Mm.
But I wanted to sound happy, so that's
Mm.
okay. I don't want to think about it, but he told me I went on with my life. I'm moving on. I have somebody else. I found somebody else. And I said, oh, okay. Who is she? Yeah, as he told me her first name, not the last name. And I said, oh, I'm happy for you. When can I meet her? And at that point, he said, it's a little bit early for you to meet her. When things are developed in a better way, I shall let you meet her. But that never came with the first lady, must I confess. But that was also my prayer to not
Mm.
confront me with another lady. After we hang up, I thought about it. What should do with my children? Must I confess to my children that I knew about another lady, or let them come to me? Uh, um, but also, my children did not speak about the lady, and they
Mm.
did not tell me anything. So I didn't ask questions at that moment.
Mm.
So I thought with the first lady, because there were 2 years,
Mm.
he had a lady. And again, my youngest child make a comment that made me think, what's going on? Is she there or is she not there anymore?
Mm.
Um, and after a while, he phoned me again, my former husband, to tell me it's over. And I said, oh, I was so glad. I think, okay, maybe now we can
Mm.
talk about get
Mm.
back together. But that didn't happen. So I was thinking, what's wrong? And we got a distance again.
Mm.
And again, my children did not speak about anything, and they did not ask me about anything, and they didn't told me anything. And I was not asking questions,
Mm.
just to not give my children the thought from, oh, mama does not like the way things are going. And what Adina said, exactly when they went to their father, I knew that when they went to the father, immediately he took them to went to the lady.
Mm.
And I was thinking, okay, now I'm sitting here all by myself and my children are away. I don't know what to do. But spending more time in the materials for Aaron was my strength to
Mm.
know how to deal with those moments that my
Mm.
children were confronting or playing family, like I was thinking about it
Mm.
with another lady and him, because the
Mm.
other lady had also 4 children. So it was one big happy family.
Mm.
And and at a point, the birthday for my children, he celebrate them and he invites people over, but not me. So also my own mother went to a birthday party for my children and my brother and was confronting with another lady.
Mm.
And I was thinking, yeah, I cannot do something about it because that's the way the Lord uh, is in control. I just have to surrender to the situation. It was not always easy
Mm.
because when my children were talking about the lady, sometimes I heard things that I was thinking, I don't want her to teach my children things that a mother is supposed to teach the children. She's not
Mhm.
the mother of my children. That was my thought. I'm the mother of the children, and I will always be the mother of the children. So the moments that I hear my children telling me that the other lady told them this and told them that, and I was thinking, it's not her job to raise my children, but I cannot do anything about it. So that was for me the hardest thing to overcome and let go and let uh, my beloved surrender it to my beloved. After a while, it gets a little bit easier because they are growing up. Um, and one thing I'm really happy about it is that my former husband, like he was saying, that probably our children will call the other woman mother at one point because they were so young.
Mm.
It never happens. So
Excellent.
I was really happy about that. Um, that they told me no, it's not their mother, it's the girlfriend of their father, and they are not telling of calling her mother. You are my mother.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that was for me really strength and confirmation that I am their mother, which other woman also will come in their life. Uh, they see me as their mother.
Mm. Yeah.
So and we are now at, and that's well a little bit difficult because the lady that my former husband now has is the fourth one. So um but by the grace of my beloved, um they are not seeing her as their mother.
Mm. Mm.
So um for me it's also getting easier to not call her anymore another woman, but just
Mm.
call her by her name when I speak about it with
Mm.
the children,
Yes.
because they also call her by the name. And when they speak to me, and they speak a little bit more about her nowadays, but it's not as confronting me anymore like 6 years
Mm.
ago when I was uh,
So
just
broken.
divorced. Yeah, and
Yes.
so
Yeah.
broken and so hot. And why? Why is
Yes.
another lady?
Yes.
But also, my former husband is really discreet about
Mm.
telling me things about his life, and it's about the life that he has with another woman. So
That helps.
that helps a lot, and it's the protections I see from my
Mm.
beloved uh, to uh, get get strength when they are with me. Uh, at the moment, yeah, I don't know. They're going through a lot because the other lady is really sick.
Mm.
So probably, and that's why my heart is now at this moment a little bit sore, and probably she's not going to make it. So um, again, my children are in an area or confronting things um, that even that I ask my beloved why, I must keep myself focused on Romans 8, verse 28, that
Mm.
everything will work out for our goods.
So,
And in the weekends when they are with their father,
mm,
um, I think about them, but not as much anymore as 6 years ago. Uh, Mostly because they are getting bigger and they are getting more understanding about situations. Um, and it's for me, is it easier to go through the weekends
mm.
and do my own things. Um, and sometimes times flies. Time
Yes,
is
yes.
goes because they are coming on the Friday and they are going on the Friday.
Mm,
But sometimes they are coming on the Friday, they are leaving on the Friday, but they're coming on the Wednesday.
mm.
So it's not always
Yeah,
that
the
they
same.
are away for a week.
Mm,
Sometimes they are after a couple of days they are back again. So uh, it's yeah,
mm.
but
Yeah,
they are just more and better than when they were little, and that
yeah,
make things easier for me to handle other things.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
For me,
what about my daughter? Because my daughter is now 23 and she
yes.
is not going
Yeah.
to her father anymore. She chose to be with me
Mm,
permanently because here where I live, the co-parenting stop at the age of 21 because
mm.
they
I
are
think 18.
sorry,
I said it's 18.
18 they are adult and they can choose
Mm,
and they can
mm,
vote and
mm,
they can sign some
mm,
papers by themselves. But 21 is legally the age that they are young adults and they
mm.
are not anymore under custody of the parents.
Oh, okay.
So the co-parenting plan is to 21.
No. Mm,
And after 21, you don't have to support them anymore because they can go work. They have a good education base if they went to school. So she's now becoming 23. She has her own life under my roof, but that's why
mm,
she
yeah,
chose to be with me
mm,
permanently till she have her own home.
mm,
Um, but that made her decide to not in contact to have
mm,
contact anymore with her father. So I cannot push her anymore, and it's making me sometimes sad. But
mm.
I have to let go, and I
Yeah.
let go of her so she can make her own choice how to be in contact with her father.
Mm. Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
is
that's a difficult situation, right?
really,
Because
really yes, really.
that's a difficult situation because mine was so small. What happened with me that hasn't happened with you is that both of them called their stepmom mom, right? So both of them called mom. And when I found it out, I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing, what was happening when I heard it. And it was just that moment, it was like the wind was sort of knocked out of me. But
Mm,
I, at least I wasn't like face to face with my children. I was standing in front of the mirror and they were busy talking on that side. So they couldn't see my face. And I remember literally biting my tongue not to say anything, to just be quiet. And for my daughter, it was a bit difficult for me for my daughter because she's my daughter, right?
mhm,
So
mhm,
she's my daughter, and now she's this other woman's daughter, which has no blood relation to her.
mm,
And you know how your children can be with their teachers. There's like their teachers is everything, and the teacher is just so cool and so good. And that's how it was with my daughter with her stepmom. Her stepmom was just this perfect woman that couldn't do anything wrong. And it was really difficult for me because I just had to keep quiet. I couldn't say anything, even if I wanted to. And there were times that things slipped out and I had to apologize, So definitely that
May
was
I-
very difficult for me. But
yeah.
when I took it to him, because I really
Mm,
asked him to help me with this because
mm,
she's my daughter.
mhm,
And then what happened is in COVID, I
mm,
don't know how it happened, exactly what went wrong, right? But the children could choose where they wanted to be. So they
mm,
could choose for that time that we were in lockdown, did they want to be with me or, were they going to be with their dad?
mm, mm,
And so my daughter chose to be with her dad, and my
mm,
son chose to be home. And they aren't split usually. They usually go to the same place. They never split apart from each other. But here, and it was maybe a good thing, because
mm,
now my daughter couldn't hang on to her brother for moral support.
mm, mm,
And so when she was alone there, the one day she phoned me and she said something, and it seems her stepmom heard it or something, and there was sort of something, a fight going on there.
mm,
And because she wasn't supposed to tell this to me, or I don't even know, it wasn't even a big deal, right? She
mm,
wasn't supposed to tell this to me, and so on.
mm,
And then I think what happened there is that my daughter immediately saw the difference between the two of us. And then our relationship started to really, she
mm,
really, we started to bond together. And then when I started homeschooling, which was
mm,
perfect, it just
mm,
got even better. When we went to places, there was this one coffee shop that we went to, and I still don't know
mm,
why I said it. There was the gentleman that was in charge there. He said, this your daughter or is it your stepdaughter? I say, no,
mm,
it's my daughter. He says, oh, a mom and the daughter coming, getting along so well. I'm like,
mm, mm.
what's in his experience as a mother and daughter like? I don't know. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he was thinking that I'm the stepmom because we get along so well.
Mm,
But the thing is, there's something else that I wanted to say, Adina, when you were saying that you were, that you were so, you didn't want the children to see how broken you were, that they were going there, right? Even if we hide it, I think they see, they can feel it or they can see it because I remember, um, when they went, my son, he has this little T-Rex dinosaur, or well, he had this little
mm,
T-Rex dinosaur puppy. And every time that they would go to their dad, he would give me the software and he would say, look after him and he's gonna look after you. Like
mm,
he's leaving, he doesn't want to leave me alone, but he's giving me this soft toy, then he feels better because he's leaving me alone. And I really
mm,
tried not to show anything in front and even be enthusiastic because I think it was in Facing Divorce or I can't
mm,
remember which of the books it was where they said that you need to do it like you need to even be enthusiastic about it. And I really did, and I was really like, you're gonna enjoy the weekend. It's gonna be so much fun for you, and although I didn't feel it, but probably the
mm.
children see that, because those children they probably saw it. So definitely, we cannot do this without
Mm.
him. There's no way that you'll be able to do any of this without him.
I thought
And
I
learn as you go along, and you do
yeah,
things, he shows you, and you do things differently then. Yes, Kristine, you wanted to say?
yeah. I did the same thing every weekend. When they went away, I was used and really happy. Uh, Indeed, what you said, um, I read it somewhere also. Be happy. Tell them, mom is not alone. She's with her best friend, the lover.
Mm,
You are going to your dad. Your dad is missing you. He wants you to be with you. And
mm,
every week, but it was not that I wanted to do it, but I
mm,
just wanted to make sure that my children knew that it's I'm not sad to be alone. I was sad, but I didn't want to let them know.
mm,
And then my children respond every week, oh, are you glad that we are going to be away? Think, oh my, that's not what I mean. I'm glad that you are here. I'm happy with you. I love you, but I'm also glad that you are going to wed.
Mm,
Okay, mom. Oh, okay, okay. Because for the twins, indeed, they cried a lot
mm,
every week when I brought them away. Uh, um, and when they
yeah.
were with me, they cried about the dead. When they went
Yes.
away, they cried about that they have to leave me behind.
Mm,
My oldest son also in the beginning, but he was 13.
mm,
So it was for him a little bit easier. But the twins, every Friday, they cried in bed. I miss my daddy. I miss my daddy. I say, oh. And when they have to go away on Thursday, Mom, I'm going to miss you. So
mm,
repeatedly, I told them, you are going to your daddy. Just
mm.
get her up. But
Yes.
inside, I think, oh, whoa,
Mm.
how am I going to
Yeah.
do this? And when
And here
I
we are, all those years later, and
And
we're quick
now,
and we're happy and
just yesterday, they told me because we made some flowers. The homegrown nurse asked to make flowers for
mm,
prayers, and we made some flowers. And on the flower, one of my sons wrote that he will not be sad anymore when he left a parent. And we go to pray about it. That his best friend is going to help him. And just yesterday, he told me, oh, I received my answer. He is helping me. I'm not crying anymore. I'm not sad anymore. I'm glad. I think, okay, now we can make a new flower.
mm.
I was thinking, okay, you can make a new flower, a new prayer of the regress. But indeed, some things I forgot. And now that you mention it, Yvonne, about how we handle the emotions of our children or try to be uh, um, um, taking care of the emotions of our children. It's not always easy, but it gets better. It
Yes.
gets better with the things that we learn by RMI, but also that we experience.
Mm,
And for my daughter, was it that she was 15 when I got divorced? But before we got divorced, she was already 2 years out of my home. And in those 2 years, I cried a lot because my daughter was away. My only daughter was away. And when she came back, we had to get to know each other because 2 years is a lot. Uh, and in the beginning, it was for her also hard to see me as her real mom because she was also raised by my former uh, sister-in-law. She was living with my former sister-in-law for a couple of years, and it was not easy. But now I see that our bond is so strong, and I am her mom. So for me, is it also easier to just wait? Because also for my sons, the time will come
mm,
uh, that they are really sure, be sure, this is my mom. No matter what she's doing, no matter if I'm sometimes mad at her or if she's mad at me, she is my mom. Nobody else can replace her.
mm. Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Like your daughter Yvonne now knows this is my mom.
Mm,
She's not always nice. I'm sometimes mad at her, but
mm,
she's my mom. And
mm.
never nobody's going to replace her.
Yeah.
She's the one that gave me birth.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, Kristine. We're at the end of our podcast. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest. Adina, I'm going to have you just close this for us, just with, something that he's shown you, something, anything. I'm just going to let you close this podcast for us today.
So, ladies, I just want to say that, I mean, from my own experience, and I think from what all of us experience, it is something very difficult to face, I mean, to have your children exposed to another woman, especially if it was like in my case, where like a woman was maybe, you know, as the other woman in your marriage, that's especially difficult also. But we can um, do it, but we can only do it with the Lord. There's no other way that we can let our children go and have that peace uh, without Him. And He is our children's best protection. There's a chapter in Finding the Abundant Life. It's called Your Best Protection. We can just know that, our protection is nothing, but they are in His hands. Yes. So that the fruit and the realization that they are with Him, or that He is with them, gave me a lot of peace as well. And it will, it does get better. Like all three of us shared, it does get better. But just hold His hand and do it with Him, and He will guide you and He will give you the peace that surpasses all understanding.
Thank you, Adina. Yes, and it only gets better when
Mm.
he's, and when for a while now, this verse has been in my head: when your trust is in the Lord and the Lord is your trust. That's the only time that it really gets better. So, ladies, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening, ladies, there. And I hope that this podcast was encouraging to you. And if you have any custody things that you want us to talk about, that you want us to answer, that you want us to discuss, or you want to come on a podcast with us, please let us know in the comment section and we'll get in contact with you. Thank you so much, ladies. See you all. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.